In 1938, before Joseph McCarthy ever started his communist witch hunt in the Senate, the House of Representatives formed the House Un-American Activities Committee. Its purpose was to investigate private citizens, public employees, and organizations that allegedly held ties to the Communist Party, violating the First Amendment rights for everyone it accused. After two major strikes in the film industry during the 1930s, creating tension between Hollywood producers and unions, the House Un-American Activities Committee quickly turned towards Hollywood. 8 years after these investigations began, in 1946, the committee was drawn even closer to specific people in Hollywood by one man, William Wilkerson, founder and publisher of The Hollywood Reporter, with an article naming communist sympathizers in Hollywood.
A vote for Joe Stalin. There are celebrities in Hollywood who have connections to the Communist Party. Here are their names. The government will love this. As a result of the article, the House Un-American Activities Committee subpoenaed many of the people mentioned by Wilkerson. In late 1947, the committee began holding hearings to investigate possible communist propaganda in films. The hearings opened with appearances by multiple famous people from the film industry, including Walt Disney. Where are your films distributed, Mr. Disney?
All over the world.
In all countries of the world?
Well, except the Russian countries.
Why are they distributed in Russia, Mr. Disney?
Well, we can't do business to them.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, we have sold them some films many good years ago. They bought The Three Little Pigs and used it throughout Russia. And they looked a lot of our pictures. And I think they ran a lot of them in Russia, but they turned them back to us and said they didn't want them. They didn't suit their purposes.
Do you have any people in your studio at the present time that you believe are communists or fascists employed there?
No, at the present time, I feel that everyone in my studio is 100% American.
Have you at any time, in your opinion, had any communists employed at your studio?
Yes, in the past I've had some that definitely were communists.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Disney, you experienced a strike at your studio, did you not?
Yes.
And is it your opinion that the strike was instituted by members of the Communist Party to serve their purposes?
Well, it proved itself so with time, and I definitely feel it was a communist group trying to take over my artists, and they did take them over.
And Mr. Disney, what is your personal opinion of the Communist Party as to whether or not it is a political party?
Well, I don't believe it is a political party. I believe it is an American thing. The thing that I resent the most is that they are able to get into these unions and take them over and represent to the world that a group of people that are in my plant that I know are good and 100% Americans are trapped by this group. And they are represented to the world as supporting all of these ideologies, and it is not so. And I feel that they really ought to be smoked out and shown up for what they are, so that all of the good free causes in this country and liberalisms that really are American, I can go without the taint of communism. That is my sincere feeling on it.
And do you feel that there's a threat of communism in the motion picture industry?
Yes, there is, and there are many reasons why they would like to take it over and get in control or disrupt it, but I don't think they have gotten very far, and I think the industry is made up of good Americans, just like in my plant, good, solid Americans. My boys have been fighting it longer than I have. They are trying to get out from under it, and they will in time if we can just show them up. We must keep the American labor unions clean. We have got to fight for all of them.
That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Disney.
In October of 1947, the House Un-American Activities Committee called 43 film industry professionals with known or alleged ties to the Communist Party to serve as witnesses during the hearings. 19 of these witnesses declared that they would not give the committee evidence, and 11 of these were called before the committee. One of the 11, Bertolt Brecht, ultimately chose to cooperate with the committee, but the other 10 men refused to cooperate throughout the hearings. These men became known as the Hollywood 10.
Meanwhile, as their fellow film professionals were being questioned by the House Un-American Activities Committee, a group of leading Hollywood professionals organized the Committee for the First Amendment to protest the government's targeting of the film industry in violation of First Amendment rights. Committee members all claimed to not be communists. They were merely supporting their colleagues' rights, whether they agreed with their political views or not. However, it was soon revealed that the committee did in fact contain communists, leading many of the members to fear for their jobs and leave.
What's up? Hey, how are you doing? Good. Pretty good meeting. You don't like fountain drinks?
Yeah, I know. I'm thirsty.
That's rough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
So we're just making small talk right now. How's your brother?
We'll stop being small talk.
What?
All right, everybody. Welcome to the second meeting of the Committee for the First Amendment at my house, our Gershwin's house. Thank you, Lucille Ball, Danny Kay, and Humphrey Bogart for not abandoning the committee like all the rest of our members did.
Hey, Ira. I know that we have this committee to protect First Amendment rights and all, and that you're happy that we're the only ones left, but we really gotta go to preserve our jobs. I mean, the committee is just after us, and they're gonna fire us if we keep being part of this group. Well, not everyone in Hollywood's gonna be against us. I'm sorry, but we really can't be in this anymore.
It's not really working that well. Are you kidding? You sold me out!
About a month after the hearings began, the Hollywood 10 still refused to testify to the House Un-American Activities Committee. That November, the House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved citations to hold the Hollywood 10 in contempt of Congress, and the next day, a group of film executives issued a press release stating that the 10 would not be hired until they were cleared of all charges. Early the next year, all 10 men were convicted, and 2 years later, after numerous failed appeals, they began serving their prison sentences. However, in September of 1950, one of the Hollywood 10, Edward Dmytryk, surprised the House Un-American Activities Committee and Hollywood by doing exactly what he had gone to prison for not doing. He chose to talk. Hey, guard, I can give you a list of names of communists. The party is committing treason.
Dmytryk was released early from jail and appeared in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee in 1951. His career soon began to recover, but the other 9 of the Hollywood 10 were unable to obtain work for many years. The Hollywood blacklist expanded as the House Un-American Activities Committee held more hearings, ruining hundreds of careers and lives. The committee began to decline in the late 1950s, and by the late 60s, the committee was constantly being interrupted by protesters. It was renamed the Internal Security Committee in 1969 in an attempt to reinvent itself, but in 1975, the committee was formally terminated.
Do it again.
I know that you're happy that we're still here and all, and I know we're protecting First Amendment rights, but our jobs are really at risk due to HUAC coming after us. I'm sorry, but...
Yep, you're out of frame, Kira. Yep.